I have a theory that if you have a history of being a quote unquote high achieving person, entrepreneurship might be difficult for you. And I want to talk about why I think that, in the hopes that if these challenges sound familiar to you, you give yourself a little break, maybe have a better understanding of why you're feeling the way that you feel, and ideally take away something that helps you move through those feelings so that you can continue to build momentum and make progress towards your goals. As usual, if I'm telling it to you, because I've already told it to myself. I have this theory that if you have a history of being a high achiever in traditional systems or structures, like say you were a high achieving student, or you are accustomed to climbing a ladder in a corporate or workplace setting, you might struggle with entrepreneurship because failure is inherently a part of the process of being a business owner. It's actually a positive sign of performance. It is a good key performance indicator, right? It's a good KPI. If you have some failures under your belt, that indicates that you are making some choices that involve some risk. And that indicates that you are doing your job as an entrepreneur, as a visionary, as a leader, as an ideator. But if you're somebody who's used to working within systems that have designated milestones, where it's easy to measure success because there's already a system in place that tells you exactly what success looks like, you might struggle to adapt to a reality where you can invest a lot of energy, resources, time, and effort into something that may not materialize into the results that you're looking for. And understanding that when that happens, that's not an indication of a lack of competency on your part. The process of entrepreneurship involves failure by design. It's meant to teach you new things. It's meant to offer you insights that help you iterate and perfect what it is you're trying to do. Or it's meant to pivot you closer to alignment with the direction that actually works. So as an entrepreneur, or as somebody who's doing anything that's off the beaten path, where there's not an existing structure for you to work within, you might have to adapt to the idea of not being an achiever. And if you come up against that struggle, if you come up against this conflict where you have an emotional reaction to each failure that you have when you're trying something new, then that might tell you that your identity has been a little bit too intertwined with the idea of achievement. If you're going to be entrepreneurial, you have got to cut the ties between your identity and how you perceive your self-worth and the idea of being an achiever, a winner, a person who gets it right. So if you're like me and you sometimes find yourself struggling to maintain momentum around an idea or an endeavor that you know you believe in at your core, it might be because you need to start looking at failure as a positive key performance indicator. There's always something to be learned from the ideas that don't make the cut and from the plans that don't generate the results. That's a part of the process. It is baked into the fabric of that experience. So if you're going to be an independent leader, if you're going to be an entrepreneurial person, and you're coming from a history of being a high achiever in traditional structures, give yourself a break when you start to feel that rub, that tension with the experience of failure or disappointment or having to start over or not even knowing how to measure success. Entrepreneurship, independent ideating, that's a laboratory. You are here to experiment, to create, to explore, not to achieve. Mwah.